So, NaLyssa Smith played her first Unrivaled game last night, and it's actually mad. It's mad how this whole situation happened. It's mad, just all in all, what ended up happening, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a bit of a struggle for NaLyssa Smith. It was definitely a bit of a struggle. And before we get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Try to hit 41,250 by the end of the day. We're 14 subscribers off. That would be absolutely incredible. So, we got to talk about it first. She played for the Mist coming in because Dejanay Carrington was hurt and Jewel Lloyd was hurt, and the Mist actually lost to the Phantom, which was not a good game if you are, if you were expecting the Mist not to be, the Mist to be better, the better team. A lot of people thought Mist were going to be the best team. I was one of them. I thought the Mist were going to be really good, but it's been a struggle. It has been a struggle. Stewie was okay. A lot of people complained that she took 7. She went 8 of 17. She had 27 points. It was still a pretty decent game. For the Phantom, they just couldn't live with Brittany Griner inside, and they couldn't, unlike any of the other teams, the Mist don't play fast enough to take advantage of Brittany Griner on the other end of the floor, which was kind of unfortunate. But we have got, right here, we've got NaLyssa Smith, who played 5 minutes and went 1 of 2 from the field. And the shot she hit was a little bit, as good as, in fairness, as good as NaLyssa Smith is at this is not what I really want to see. I really want to see from NaLyssa Smith, because this is not something that she's got. This is why I always say NaLyssa Smith is not going to fit in Indiana, because the thing she does best at, see this move right here where she's able to kind of do a bit of spin, that kind of fall away, fade away, one hand, double pump, layup, floater thingy. She's actually really good at that. The problem is that you do that in Indiana. Aaliyah Boston's here. There's a second help defender. You're shooting over 3 people if you do that. And in that curve drive, you're taking, it's hard to do this. It's really, really hard to do this with Aaliyah Boston in there as well. It's easy enough to do this when you're, if NaLyssa Smith was playing beside, let's just say she was playing for, I'm just going to think off the top of my head, for the Lynx, and Alana Smith was her center spreading the floor. I actually think NaLyssa Smith could get buckets. I think she could really get buckets, but these are the type of shots that's going to be a struggle, and that's what she's best at. That's what she was doing in China. That's her best thing, is those kind of tough finishes that she does probably as well, if not better than anyone else in the W. Just I don't see it really being the greatest thing in the world. But the fact that it was tweeted, I'm screaming at the thought of Dejanay and Jewel saying they're out, and a team looking around and saying, what are we going to do? And someone being like, well, Liz is at Dejanay's house. And then according to NaLyssa Smith, literally what has happened, she was on vacation. So obviously, NaLyssa Smith is on vacation. She's rehabbing an injury. I thought she moved okay. And look, I'm not going to look too far into this, to be honest. I do think the game was a bit of a struggle, but I don't know how many people would succeed given those circumstances. I really don't know. Given the circumstances, I don't know how many people would have really succeeded. And look, I thought she was quite poor on the defensive end, but the Mist having to play Courtney Vandersloot for 23 minutes is going to be a struggle. Rakia was very good yesterday, but I think that is going to be a huge struggle. Especially if NaLyssa Smith, do they have to play tonight? I don't think they play tonight, do they? She does. Wow. So tonight, the Mist play against the Rose. That's a must-win game. The Rose haven't won a game either. Really, the Rose have not won a game either, which is concerning. I will say this, it is very, very concerning if they go and lose to the Rose. But at least for NaLyssa, there's some okay matchups for her in this game, because you've got Angel Reese, who's, I think Azare is a player that NaLyssa Smith can kind of beat with speed, and I think Angel Reese versus NaLyssa is a really good matchup, because obviously they played each other 4 times last year. 2 of them, in the first 2 games, I'm going to say I don't think either got the better of either. In the third game, Angel Reese destroyed NaLyssa Smith. Absolutely destroyed NaLyssa Smith. And in the 4th game, NaLyssa Smith gave Angel Reese the business. NaLyssa Smith balled out in that fourth game against Chicago. Like, obviously, Angel still got a double-double when she stayed in the game against the third stringers, but like, you've still got a really good matchup there. So if I'm NaLyssa Smith, this is like the matchup where you really want it, because there are good matchups for her here in this Rose team. Like Azure, like the Rose do have Chelsea Gray is a bit of slower. Chelsea Gray and Sloot matches up okay to Chelsea Gray. It's just, I think Kat Copper is going to run rings around them. I think Kat Copper is going to be nearly impossible to guard, and it's going to be very tough for the Mist to win a game without Jewel Lloyd. And like, Stewie's going to have to literally play like the MVP that a lot of people predicted she was going to be. I had Ryan Howard, which was looking great after a game. She'd still be in the top 10, but right now it's looking like Kayla McBride or Fee or maybe Alyssa Thomas is going to win MVP. So, yeah, it is going to be a tough one tonight, but I do think that it is important that, it's good that she's playing basketball, hopefully. And I mean, hopefully she does an okay job for the rest of Unrivaled, and hopefully she doesn't get injured. Like, that's the biggest thing, is that players don't get injured. Like, we've already seen Alyssa Thomas potentially getting injured. We've already seen a lot of other things. So, like, it could be a really tricky one if NaLyssa Smith does get hurt. And I still do think, even though I thought NaLyssa Smith I thought she was okay. I did think NaLyssa Smith was okay today. I'm still on the side of, like, trading her. Like, she does so much good. And I think for her own sake, like, obviously, like this, not that many WNBA players are as good at doing that as NaLyssa Smith. Like, if you look at NaLyssa Smith's footage from like 22, 23, like, especially in her rookie or her second year, you could see, like, she was meant to be in the big three, not Kelsey Mitchell. But it's just a fit. It's a fit problem. It's not a skill problem. And we even saw yesterday her being on vacation. We saw a flash. We saw a flash of what NaLyssa Smith can do. And, like, look, Tash Cloud, even though she's the height advantage, Tash Cloud is not an easy defender to hit that shot on, because of the way NaLyssa Smith rises so much on that shot. And she kind of shoots it. She rises so much, you have to jump in. She almost shoots it on the way down and pushes with that right hand. It's so difficult to guard. And it would be nice to see NaLyssa Smith in a situation where she can actually go and do that. Like, if I was the Valkyries, I would be trying to get in on that Dallas trade. If Dallas aren't trying to tank, be like, look, we want NaLyssa. Dallas will give you, if they are trading for Satu, or if they're trading for, if Satu falls through, maybe they go and try to trade for an Ariel Atkins or someone along those lines. And NaLyssa Smith is in that deal, and suddenly it's like, okay, if you are like Golden State, you try to get into the deal, sending like the rights to Carla Leite to the Mystics, who need a point guard, for NaLyssa Smith in that deal. That could be a really interesting one. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I will see you guys.